Hey, it's Huck. And I'm sorry, I know it has been a very long time since I posted a video. A little over a month now, as I understand it. I think the last time I posted a video was the day of those riots, the insurrection um, at the Capitol. And I have had a pretty bad time of it, to be honest with you. In fact, I'm trying to get through this video, without wearing my oxygen. I've actually been wearing the oxygen day and night now for weeks, and every time I try to wean myself off of it, I can go a very short period of time, and I feel like my breathing becomes, labored. I actually have to think to breathe or whatever, and I'm hoping, I'm starting to do some exercises, and I'm starting to, I'm hoping I'm strengthening my lungs a little bit so that I can do more. If you hear that sound, it is because I have my oxygen concentrator on and I'm not breathing it. Let me shut that off right now. Anyway, I've had a pretty bad time of it. It doesn't help that the weather has been horrendous here in northeastern Ohio, where I live. This is probably, I don't know, maybe 2 straight weeks at least of the temperature basically never going above, 32, 33 degrees. In fact, most of this week it's been in the 20s as the high. And it's not supposed to get any warmer, for the next 2 weeks. So all I know is that when I try to go outside, I really don't do well. Now, fortunately, I haven't had to go outside much. I, will get in my car and go to, I pick up all my groceries curbside express at Giant Eagle, and that grocery store, I think I've mentioned before, is a little bit further away. It's probably about 9 or 10 miles from here. I have to get on the freeway and drive off Interstate 80. It's the very next exit. 5 miles on the highway, but I don't know. At any rate, but even simple tasks like, for instance, taking my trash barrel, rolling it down, taking it down, walking it down to the curb, and then, and then after they pick it up, bringing it back up. I didn't even bother to do that last week because it was like 20 degrees outside, and I went to do it. I grabbed my little oxygen, portable oxygen thing, and I bundled up and I went outside, and I probably walked maybe 5 or 6 steps. I got just past my front porch. And I probably had another, I don't know, maybe 30 yards, what would that be? 90 feet to go down the little slope of my yard, down my driveway. But like I say, I took about 5 or 6 steps with it, and I was already short of breath. And I'm wearing oxygen. So I just turned around, put it back, and I didn't take it out last week. So I really do have to take it out this week. And the day for that is tomorrow. They come and pick up my trash on Thursday mornings, usually really early. So I usually have to get it out sometime Wednesday. And, sometimes, depending on what the weather is like, I might take it out even a day or 2 early to avoid having to take it out, when it's raining or something else. Or as sometimes happens, because I don't take it out every week, sometimes it's, filled to the top. And so I might as well take it out now because I can't put anything more in it. At any rate. But the temperatures, as I said, like today, the high was like 20. and most of the day, it didn't really even get that high. So I didn't bother to take it out. And if I can, I'm going to try to get a hold of my neighbor tomorrow, see if maybe someone in her family can maybe take it out for me. At any rate, one of the problems I had in the month of January was I was trying to save myself a little money because money has always been tight around here. I have been getting some very, well, incredibly kind financial assistance. And as I've probably mentioned several times before, I wouldn't be able to pay my bills, wouldn't be able to stay on top of things, probably wouldn't be able to keep the house were it not for the assistance that I receive. The assistance allows me to be able to eat, allows me to have things like TV, allows me to be able to afford, internet service, and to pay all my medications. But when things come up, or when I have a particularly bad month, due to, whatever it is, money gets tight. And so in order to try to save myself a little bit of money, and more importantly, to be able to do some of the medical tests and things that I have kind of been putting off. Every time I go to see a specialist with my Medicare Advantage plan that I'd had with Humana, there's a copay. And the copay for most of my medications and things are, well, I've been able to do them. Because of the help I get, I've been able to do them. So, for instance, a couple of the medications I take cost like $47 or $38. Most of them are less than that. The oxygen that I have in my home, I'm now paying $21 a month, a little over $21 a month, which is my copay. Every time I go in to see a specialist, I think it was like $45. But sometimes they want you to take a test. Well, anyway, I was going to have to pay $256 to get a CAT scan. And I had two doctors that wanted me to take this CAT scan. So anyway, I was thinking, I've been putting off a couple of things, and because like I say, these medical tests and things can be pretty expensive. And they wanted me to get an x-ray, and it was going to cost me over $114. So I thought, you know what? It's open enrollment time. This was back in December. Let me check on the prices. And I decided, I'm kind of curious. What would it save me if I switched to like this? The biggest insurer in the country seems to be United Healthcare. And of course, they're always running ads. Well, they all are, but they're the ones that advertise that they're sponsored or they're endorsed by AARP. I don't even belong to AARP, but I thought, well, let me look into that. So I got in touch with one of these independent insurance agents, and I said, I'm looking to switch, from the current coverage that I have if it will save me money. And I had, a list of specific things I wanted them to check on before I would agree to switch. And so I went down the complete list of medications that I take daily. And I wanted to know what my copay would be for each of them. And in most cases, the plan that they were, steering me toward, which was a plan was with United Healthcare, but it was called AARP, Medicare Advantage Walgreens. So at any rate, and they, and for the most part, it was kind of a wash with my medications. There was one or two medications which were, $5 or $6 more. There were a few other medications that were a few dollars less. So it basically was about even. What sold me on it was that they told me that, the x-rays would be cheaper, the CAT scan would be less than half the $256 I was supposed to pay. I think CAT scan went down to like 114 or something like that. At any rate, so, after going through the list, and specialists were about the same. I think seeing my family doctor was still $0. So I thought, you know what, this might be what I'm looking for. It's, if I have any big things done, maybe this will save me some money, but it's not going to be any worse. So I went with it. Well, then came, the first time in January where I actually had to get a bunch of my prescription medications refilled. And I, went down to the local Walgreens where I've always gotten my prescriptions, and I gave them my new card with the new insurance coverage. And as soon as I tried to get my Symbicort, which is an inhaler, they told me it would be $127, which is not what they told me when I agreed to make this switch. I was under the impression that the price, my copay, was only going to be about $47. And they said, well, yeah, normally that would be your copay, but you have to pay, because it's I don't know what it was, a tier 1 drug or a tier 3 drug or whatever the hell it was. I had to pay $124, what do they call it? Not the copay, but the, you know what I'm talking about. The, the word escapes me. At any rate, so anyway, I was supposed to pay $127 because that was the max they could charge me. But basically, every time I would want this medication, and mind you, I get this medication every month, it would be $127. Oh, I know. It was because there's a deductible. And until I had paid the entire deductible, I would continue to have to pay $127 for this thing. And I forget the deductible was like $1,400. So basically, I'd have to be paying for this almost all year. Like 11 months, I'd be paying $124. At any rate, well, this wasn't going to do it all. I ended up calling that agent back, that independent insurance agent back, because not only that, they, I guess this deductible, there was a deductible for medications. There was another deductible for medical procedures. Now, I was supposed to go in January to get a couple of tests run, a CAT scan and some other tests. And again, I was told that my copay, which I was expecting, would be like $114, but my deductible was going to be like another, more than double that. And I thought, well, I'm not saving any money here. This is costing me more money than what I had. So I called back my insurance agent. First of all, I didn't get my medication. I didn't get the tests because I didn't want to, I would have had to put it on credit. I didn't have that much money on me to pay all of that, and I would have had to charge it, which, I'm trying to avoid charging anything. So anyway, to make a long story short, I contacted the same insurance person that that had talked me into this thing. And I told him I blamed him because I went through all of this and he had never mentioned anything about deductibles. Never came up. The words never came out of his mouth. And I told him I felt like, I actually believed when I called him that it was too late, that I wasn't going to be able to do anything, that, the window for changing your insurance coverage had come and passed, and now I thought it was too late for me to, to switch again or to switch back. Fortunately, I was wrong. I don't know what the grace period was, whether there's a 30-day period or whatever. But as my agent told me that, because I had just switched off of my other, and because I had just done it, I could switch back, although I had to wait until the 1st of February. So I'm back with Humana as of February 1st. And as far as I can tell, the coverage hasn't changed this year much from what I had previously. Pretty much the prices are similar, at least as far as I know, as I've seen so far. So I'm back on my medications now. I finally did get, but I'll tell you, I don't know whether it was going a whole month or most of the month without, that one medication that I use, the Symbicort, is the probably the certainly one of the 2 or 3 key medications that I use, because it's got this inhaler contains some kind of a targeted steroid that goes directly into your lungs. And I have tried other inhaling medications. There's a whole array of them, many of which you've probably seen advertised on TV. There's Anora, and I've tried several of them over the years. One of them, I'm looking at the device here. One is called Spiriva. It looks like a little capsule, and you put the capsule in here, and then you close this and push this button, and it pokes a hole in the capsule, and then you breathe in the little pellets or medication that's inside that capsule that you've just opened up. Well, at any rate, I used to take Spiriva, and it was actually really effective. But once I started taking it daily, it started causing me some serious side effects. My back of my throat and my tongue would swell. And that's unfortunately kind of the side effect that I've had with a number of these other medications that I've tried. So unfortunately, Symbicort seems to be the only one that I'm able to take without having, those kind of, serious issues. The fact that I went a number of weeks without it, I don't know if that's contributed to, that, and the fact that I've not been as active. This time of year, I'm not outside. I'm not probably moving around as much. My breathing has been much, much worse here lately. I am trying, like I say, to go a little bit longer each day without being on oxygen, so that I can, again, hopefully by the time the weather starts warming up outside, I can again, be out and about without my oxygen on. But at any rate, one of the reasons, I'll be honest, that I haven't posted a video recently is because I don't like posting videos with my oxygen on. So anyway, the good news is here I am, and I'm talking without my oxygen, and so this has been a big success so far. Anyway, I apologize for being so tardy with this video, and I will try very hard not to do that too often. I know with everything going on right now, with this virus, I'm sure there are folks out there that probably were wondering whether I was okay. And I probably should have at least posted if nothing else, maybe a 1-minute video just to assure everybody that, hey, I'm okay. I'm here, Anyway, so I am. And as you can tell, I'm feeling pretty good today. So, and considering that it's almost 8 o'clock at night, I have been studiously watching the first day of Trump's second impeachment hearings on Capitol Hill. And I must say, if we lived in a world where the Republican Party had even an ounce of integrity, Trump would be convicted in his Senate trial, and the verdict would be unanimous. But of course, we don't live in that world. We live in a sad world where Republican elected officials have little to no integrity, and outside of maybe 5 or 6 members who have at least have some conscience, we are not likely to see Trump convicted by this Senate. I think the only question is going to be whether or not any Republicans will vote to convict him. Lord knows. If Trump doesn't deserve, conviction in his impeachment trial, then their impeachment has no meaning. I can't imagine anyone ever holding office who has ever deserved it more. So, anyway, I have been watching that, and for those of you who haven't, really been paying close attention to it or missed any of it, I would urge you to go on YouTube here and look up House Member Raskin's video presentation. It gives a very accurate timeline of the events of January 6th, showing Trump's complicity, his state of mind as evidenced by not just his statements, but by his Twitter rantings during and after the events of that day. At any rate, Jamie Raskins, who is the House manager of the impeachment, he's the head prosecutor, if you will. He gave a very emotional, really riveting opening to the whole thing. And the video, I think, just to give you an idea of its impact, the reports coming out of the Capitol following that presentation were that the Senate chamber was absolutely quiet. I mean, I think the words I heard to describe it were, you could hear a pin drop. So again, if you haven't seen it, while you're here on YouTube, go ahead and look for that Raskin's House Manager video, and you'll find it. Anyway, I'm going to try very hard to post another video before the end of the week. And we'll see how that goes. But anyway, wish me luck. I am trying really hard to feel better and to breathe better. And I have been very, very cautious. I've been taking every precaution. It's been, it's been since before Thanksgiving, since I've actually, been with another human being in the same room. Like I say, other than going, to curbside pickup where they put the groceries in my trunk, and going to, the drive-through pharmacy, I really haven't. I haven't been in a store. I haven't. I haven't really been in the same room with anybody. About the closest I've come to actual person-to-person contact has been, I've actually had to hand a card to somebody at one time. So we were probably, 5 or 6 feet away. At any rate, that's it for now. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again, like I say, hopefully by the end of the week.